Um, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a little introduction to how we approach email marketing, and it's not weird, but if you're used to using Constant Contact or Mailchimp or another email program, um,
Right.
the way we approach things, especially when it's as it relates to creating content, the actual email itself,
Hmm.
it's a little bit different. We take a different approach, and I'll explain that to you. And I don't think you'll have a problem with it. But if you don't understand our approach, then you might get a little frustrated and wonder what the hell are these people trying to do, you know? And so we'll cover that. And then the next thing is we're going to go over step by step how to create and monitor an email campaign. And I've got that sample email from you that Paige sent, and we'll use that as an example to build out a campaign. And then I have a slide in here on how to get additional help and support, and this recording will be one of those things that you can go back to. And then
Okay.
and then what I want to do to wrap up is I want to review the branding that we have done for you for your emails, and
Uh-huh.
let you take a look at it because we need your okay or your feedback on the branding that we did. Um, and I'll explain what that means when we talk about the concepts, and because we do the branding for you. Um,
Okay.
and in contrast to how Mailchimp or Constant Contact does it, they make you drag and drop your own images and kind of build out your templates. We do all that for you. Um,
But can you manipulate it if you
yes,
want?
and that's what I'm
Okay.
going to talk to you about in the concept.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a common question. So yeah, so let me go ahead and dive in here. So the concepts, and I'm sorry, you know what? The flood destroyed some of the roads and the drainage outside our office here, and they're rebuilding all that right now. So if you hear some beeping sounds, that's what's going on.
We hear a lot of that at work too. So.
Yeah, I mean, literally, the roads and the drainage ditches collapsed. It was so the water was
Uh,
so intense that the concrete just broke apart, and they're out there fixing it. So, anyways, the way we approach email marketing is we give you a very simple 6-step process to build out your emails. And I'm going to toggle back and forth with the software while we do this, so I can kind of show it to you as we're doing it, and I think you'll get it. But that's usually the easiest way. Now, can you see this okay, or do I need to zoom in some more?
well, if I had to read it, I would not be.
All right, so you make me feel a lot better by saying that. But the obviously the email marketing module is right there under email marketing. Okay,
Okay.
and if you click on that, what you're going to see is a list of all your email campaigns, and you can sort it by status. Being it's in draft mode, scheduled, sending, or sent. Now we've got a template sample in here for you. And if I go in, and since it's in draft mode, Katie, I can edit
Uh,
it. And if I click on the edit button, here's your 6 steps that I'm referring to. Okay.
okay.
And those 6 steps are very straightforward. And I'm going to walk you through those 6 steps when we get to the next section. Okay. So don't worry about the 6 steps right now. I'm going to cover the concepts first. And then
Okay.
we'll get into what you do in each step. Okay, so the way we approach email marketing is we provide you with a container or a template, and then you can drop plain text into that and images. And then when you go actually look at it in the template or in the container, we apply all the colors, styles, fonts, everything, so it looks good. And so let me show you that. So if I'm looking at this email, and don't try to follow the steps right now because I'm going to go over each step in a minute. Oh goodness,
Okay.
I clicked on contacts. I didn't mean to do that, but that came up pretty fast. I'm going to go into the content, And you'll see that this is just a bunch of text. We've got a heading, and we have a body, and then we have some images, and then it's just a bunch of plain text, and it can be cut and pasted from Word or Notepad or an email. It doesn't matter. And just pasted right in here. And then when you preview it, okay, let me see. Yeah, hold on. The branding's not in there. Hold on. Let me make a call real quick. I'm sorry we're recording this, but the branding was supposed to be in here. Well, instead of top choice construction, just assume this is MB Haynes. Okay.
Okay.
Hey Don. Hey, I'm doing the MB Haynes email marketing training right now, and I don't see their branding in here.
Man, I just re-uploaded that last night. What is going on?
I don't know.
Is it maybe, do we have two different accounts in there or something? Let me just check.
I don't think so. MB Haynes. I don't think there's two MB Haynes out there. That's for sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyways, just a heads up. It's not a big deal. But if it gets in there while we're doing the training, that's great. If not, we'll just show them the default branding.
Yeah,
I can imagine what it will look like.
Double check it. I'm going to figure out what's going on here.
Okay, Don. No worries.
Right. Thanks.
Okay. All right, Katie. Sorry. So that Don is Don, the guy that I was talking to. He is our support manager, but he also is in charge of the branding. He has a graphic artist degree, a degree in graphic design, and so he's really good. And what he's going to do is he'll have the branding in here, and instead of Top Choice Construction, it'll have the MB Haynes branding and links to your social media pages and all that kind of stuff. But as you can see, conceptually, you're able to just take some text and just drop it right in here, or just type it in here. This is some plain text. And then when you preview it, the colors and the fonts are all applied. So this is a Century Gothic font. The color of your main, it's either your red or your black, whatever is on there. And then it looks really good. And then we have a promotional section down in the bottom. Sorry, it's all the way down here. This is a very long email, but this is fake branding, but this will be the MB Haynes branding. And then we give you multiple layouts so you can have a blank template that has no branding in it. You could have like a little personalized or letterhead sort of template that just has maybe their name, and we can remove this logo from here if we want to, just so it looks like kind of like it came from Outlook, right? And we'll give you all these different layouts. But as I'm going to tell you here in a second, right here, you're not stuck with that. That is just an added kind of benefit, or for your convenience, is those templates or those containers. So they're available. But what you can also do is you can go in here, and are you an HTML person, Katie?
Somewhat. I'm learning as I go.
Okay, but let's say you have an HTML designer, or maybe you have something in Constant Contact or MailChimp that you use that you really like. You can just go over here to where it says HTML and cut and paste the HTML right in here, and you've got the HTML. And then you could just...
I was going to ask you if you could cut and paste like that with WordPress.
Absolutely, you can. And so you'll look, yes. What was the tool you mentioned?
That I mentioned? WordPress.
Oh, WordPress. So yes.
Yeah, for our websites.
So yes, so a lot of customers use, WordPress because it's a web page builder, right? And then you can export the HTML and then go right in here and paste the HTML in here. Okay?
Okay.
Or you can use Dreamweaver or whatever your favorite HTML editor is. We're software developers, so we use Microsoft development tools, and it creates HTML, and we'll edit it and we'll drop it in here. You have those as options, okay? And then what the third option will be, you could just take that email campaign and just insert the whole image, the one that Paige sent me, and then that creates a full email for you. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second when we walk through the steps. Now, did you have a question?
No, I was telling Katie that I had sent you that draft so you would have something to use to demonstrate how it would work.
Okay. And I'm going to do that in a second. Now, there's a fourth option that's coming. I'll just type it in here. That I can't talk about it too much yet because I don't have the final design and the final specs on it. But then there's another way that we're going to allow you to kind of edit things in a sort of like if you were doing it in Microsoft Word, and then that will create the email as well. So just remember that's on its way. I mean, we've lived with these three options for almost 10 years now, and everybody loves it, but we're actually going to create even a fourth option that we think might even be better. But for now, you have these three options. And like I said, you can just use a blank template and drop the HTML right in there. If you use WordPress or something, you can pick a template that we've already prepared for you, or you can pick a blank template and drop an image right in there, and that becomes your email. Okay. Now, so that is kind of the way we approach email marketing. And I think you'll like it once you get used to it or just start using it. It's very simple. But one of the other approaches that we take, which is very important, is that we help manage your contacts and we help upload them and scrub them for you. And the reason why this is important is for many reasons. First of all, we can fix up your data for you and tell you if you have email addresses that are not in the proper format, or we can kind of cleanse the data a little bit. But then also, since we kind of handhold the contacts and the data loads, one of the things that we make sure doesn't happen is that other customers, customers other than MB Haynes, doesn't load things in the system that's going to cause problems with our deliverability. And this is a subject that I could talk to you about for a week. But the bottom line is if companies upload purchase lists of contacts and start spamming people, they end up on blacklists. Google will start blocking them. Yahoo will block them. It'll cause deliverability issues because some person has started spamming people and it causes trouble. We make sure that doesn't happen, and that way we ensure that your emails have the highest probability of being delivered. And our statistics show that our deliverability is way above Constant Contact, way above MailChimp, and we continue to obsess over that, I'll say. So we do that, but what we also do is we allow you to target your emails by tagging them, by searching on, you could put a tag in the system under the contact name. So I'll just open up I'm logged in as Paige, by the way, but let me go to a contact record real quick. And we're missing some names in here, but let me go to here. And I'll just grab this one. And for a contact, we can categorize contacts by their type, their role, their title. We can tag them. So you can say, Paige already has 3 tags in there. It seems so. Maybe you want to email everybody that's slow to pay. Well, you can do that by creating a tag and then including them on an email campaign. So, and I'm going to get into this in a second, but I'm making myself laugh here. But if you go in here and you look at step number 3, this is the criteria. You have this massive criteria here that you can use to build your targeted campaign list. So the type of contact, the type of company it is, maybe it's a hospital. You want to target hospitals. You want to target a specific industry, division or territory. Maybe it's only division within MB Haynes. You have all these abilities to target your email. Even, the source of maybe, I don't know, you did a marketing campaign, a certain, I don't know, a trade show or a marketing campaign, and this brought in a certain number of customers that we loaded in the system for you. You can target them directly as well. Okay. And so that's kind of our philosophy on email marketing. Is there any questions about that, Katie? Is there something that concerns you about this?
One thing I was wondering about, especially since you were talking about MailChimp and Constant Contact, I know they send out so many at one time to kind of avoid being put into spam. Is it some kind of process like that, when it's being pushed out, throttling?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to clarify that for me real quick.
So she's talking about like throttling the emails, making sure that they only parse out in certain quantities, so you don't get
throttling. Yes, we do. I'm sorry. You're way ahead of me. So yes, all of that. So throttling is already taken care of, and we throttle our emails as they go out, and so you really know what you're talking about then. So throttling is very important, so that if Yahoo sees 5,000 emails coming all at once, they know it's spam. And there's also a concept of warming up IP addresses, which again we're really getting into the technical weeds here, but what that means is if Yahoo or Gmail or something starts getting a bunch of emails from an unknown source, like an IP address, it will say, oh, wait a minute, I don't know you. I'm going to back you down a little bit, and I'm probably going to start kicking back a bunch of emails. That has already been taken care of. So we've already warmed up the domains and the IP addresses, and we've already actually gone even a step further, is we've done a blacklist check on MB Haynes to make sure MB Haynes domain, www.mbhaynes.com, is not on any blacklists. We've already done that for you. So, and we didn't find anything. If we found something, we would have told you, and then we would have started a process of removing you from the blacklists. So, yeah, man, we're talking about some really heavy-duty stuff here, but we know the drill, and we've done this for quite a while, and so we kind of know the traps. And
and as far as the information that you get back after they have been sent out, you get some kind of tracking information, so
yes, ma'am. So we track. Yes, ma'am. So there's 4 levels of tracking. Actually, let me put a 5th one. There's just a plain bounce, a hard bounce, and we get a report back. And that means it's a bad email address for a valid, but for a valid company. So let's say, maybe if you tried to email Pam Bailey right now, it would get kicked back and say this is no longer a good email address, right? But then if you tried to send an email to pbailey@mbhayne without the s.com, it would know that that's not even a valid domain, and it would kick that back and say this is not even a valid domain, and you would get a report on that.
Okay. That's what I was wondering if we get a report of the tracking.
You do, and I'll show it to you. And then we also get reports on, like, if an email is blocked due to spam content. So, if you're trying to send an email and they go, oh, this is probably spam, and they kick it back, that's okay. It's not a hard bounce. It's just what we call a block. You get a report on that as well. And then the fourth reason is somebody reports you as a spammer. So if somebody reports you as a spammer, we block their email address, and then we won't send any more emails to them anymore. And then the last one is an opt-out. If they opt out, that's the fifth level. And we report that back to you as well. And not only do we report that back to you, we tell you exactly which email campaign they opted out of, so you know. Okay. So yes, you get that. And where you see that, Katie, is let me log into the demo account real quick, and I'll show you an example. So this is my demo account, and I go to email marketing, and let me know if the screens are refreshing too quick for you over GoToMeeting. I'll slow it down. But under here, Katie, there's a track button, and then you go in here and you hit the track button, and it will open up the list of who the email was going to, and then it'll give you error messages like, this one doesn't have an email address, so obviously that's a problem. And this one was a duplicate, and it'll tell you, okay, that was a duplicate, so I'm not going to send it to that one twice. But then it'll say, if it was a bounce, it'll give you the bounce message, or if it's a bad email address, it'll say, no, this email address is no good.
So on this page or section, can you make corrections and save them, or do you need to get out of here and make those corrections?
Well, you can click on, so you say, let's say for Sheila here, she has no email address, and you know that she has one, you can go there and enter it and then go back. Okay.
Oh, okay, you just click that one and edit it, and then we'll save it. Okay.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am. So these are you have a link to their contact record right here, and you can go update it. Okay, right from there.
Dave, we couldn't see where your cursor went. Where did you go to find the tracking?
Oh, email marketing, and there's a track column right there.
I see it. Yeah, okay.
Okay, maybe I should make it a bigger button, but it's right, that button right there.
Perfect.
Okay. Now Sheila, I was looking at Sheila's record. Sorry, Katie. If you need a more wide-reaching report, you have this one tracking report for this email campaign, and you can export it to Excel if you want to. But if you need like a bigger report, like say, show me all my bad email addresses, or show me all my opt-outs, or show me all my spam reports, I'll produce it for you. Okay? Because quite frankly, we kind of need it, and we don't have it. I think we need, under the marketing section, like an email bounce report or something, a wider reaching report. But I will tell you this, if you go to, let's say, this Howie McDowell record here, and you can see that they clicked on a link, and you go into Howie here, you'll see that you have a record under Howie of bounced emails, and it's in the history for his record. So if I want to see the links that were clicked, I can filter it, and I can go see which links he clicked on. Okay. All right. So just wanted to make sure you knew what we have.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, cool. All right, and by the way, if you want a wider reaching bounce report, we'll do that. But also, what we are thinking about doing is adding another report for like links that were clicked, and kind of maybe a report to say, hey, these are the links that are getting clicked on the most in emails, or
Right. That would be, yeah.
Well, we have similar ones, just so you know. So if I go in here and I look at a contact record, okay, and I can see, and sorry, it's a little GoToMeeting slows my demos down and it drives me nuts. But just bear with me for 1 second. And MB Haynes has a whole bunch of contacts, so this could be a reason why it's. I'm sorry, no, I'm in the demo account. Just bear with me if you could. This shows all the contacts, and it shows you, it boils to the top, the ones that are clicking on the most emails and opening the most emails, so you can see that. Okay, so there it is. So you can see, well, that coincidentally, Howie boiled to the top because he's got a very high open and click rate compared to everybody else. So we have, we could do similar reports to this for you. Just let me know if you think you need something there. Okay, so
You can those reports. Can you share them straight from here, or you just save them and download them?
You can save them. I don't know what you mean by share. You can save
if you
them.
If you wanted to share that report, if I wanted to share that report with Paige.
Well, Paige can get to it, but if you want, you would save it to a PDF and email it to her, I guess. Is the only way I would know how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know, Katie, this is kind of our first training and our first time to kind of get together here, but all our reports can be saved to a PDF.
Okay.
And all our reports can be saved to Excel, so you can see those
Great.
in the system and email them out if you need to. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
This is off subject, and I know we're recording, but I meant to tell you, under the bid window, we still cannot save PDFs. So I'm making myself a note. And I'll come back to it, but PDF will not save.
I'm sorry. Under this one?
Mm-hmm. If you, under documents and photos.
You can't add them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it says file format not supported. It's either under proposal or bid.
I'll check into it.
Okay. Just wanted to.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. I've got your notes handy.
Stuff pops into my mind when we're going through here, and if I don't capture it, it's
like 8 minutes.
It's okay. I'm a little bit shocked by that, but I'll investigate for you. Oh, okay. So, Katie, we'll move on then to the next slide. And if you don't,
Can I ask another question about the templates?
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, you can put in images. Can you use video?
Well, no, and here's why. Most email readers do not support the use of video. Now, you could, if you wanted to, there's a couple options. Let me log in back at this page. You can put a link, like a an image of the video, like a thumbnail image of the video with a play button on it, and that links to the video in YouTube. That's what we really recommend that you do, because email readers just don't. It won't work in most email readers, and Outlook is one of those. But the other option is the best option is to provide an image or a link, and we do the exact same thing. I'm going to go in here real quickly, and I'm going to log in, and I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to log into my account, and I'm going to go to email marketing, and we sent out an email campaign last week. Okay, and I'm going to go into the tracking page for that. This is for a convention we did last week, and we sent out a video, and I'm going to view that email, how it was sent out. Okay. And right here, we have a link to a video, and that takes us to the video. And that's the most effective way to do it, because if
as long as I put a link in to get to something that
I think
that'll work.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Katie, I was interrupting you, but there's a lot of reasons why we recommend doing that. That doesn't have to be a button; it can be an image, and usually we'll do an image, about a 500 pixel wide image with a play button on it, and we can help you with that if you need it. But obviously, most email readers will not even, the video will come up as an X, or it won't even show in an email. Second reason is a lot of those things get blocked for spam purposes, and so having a link is best. And then, quite frankly, a third reason is we track, when they click on links. And one of the things that we did, even after we sent out our email campaign last week, is I went back through and I looked to see who watched our video, and I could track it in the emails campaign and say, hey, this customer that we've been really chasing, I called my sales guy and said, this customer we've really been chasing watched our video, which was exciting, So, anyways, I know I'm preaching to the choir, and I'm sorry for that. But
that's fine.
Okay, all right. So now what I'm going to do, and feel free to ask more questions if you need to, is I'm going to go and walk you through an email campaign. Okay. So, did I just close? I just closed that. All right, let me go back in. So I'm going to log back in this page, and I am going to create an email campaign from scratch. All right, email marketing. I'm going to go to new email campaign, and I'm going to say, for that, you're going to have to talk to me through this, but go ahead and give me a subject line for that email campaign that you were going to do.
HVAC controls. Commercial.
Well, it does have a type in there, so we could put commercial type.
Okay. So the subject line is pretty straightforward. We have something called merge fields or tags that you can include in here. And there's a list of those in the Help Center, which I'll go to and show you in a second. It could be their first name, as an example.
Email subject.
Okay, check out our HVAC controls. I'm making this up. And then the second thing is you have a little description in here, and that kind of tells you what is going on with this. Who am I sending this to? What is the purpose of this email? The customer, people always ask me this question. Does the customer see that? No, the customer does not see that. So you don't have to worry about that. So we'll give it a description.
So this is existing commercial customers.
And this will be a promotion. Let's just say you can kind of give it a category. And that's really just to help categorize it in the system. And this, you might want this to come from info at, or Katie, what's your, is that it?
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then when they hit the reply button, it'll go to you as well. Or you might want the reply to be, do not.
Right.
But I mean, it depends. I mean, my goodness, when we send out an email campaign, we'd love for them to reply, as long as it's, appropriate. So there you go. And so that's step number 1. Step number 2 is going to be to pick the layout. And in this case, we're going to pick the blank layout because we're going to upload that image that Paige sent me. Okay?
Uh-huh.
The next step will be to go ahead and select the contacts. And this is where the targeting comes in. So I don't know how we would actually filter this list. But we'll need to figure that out.
So account type would probably, commercial. See, and this is where I've asked.
We got to clean this up. Yeah.
Well, this is, you see that is not even, it's only spelled right once out of 13, and that's the way I entered it. See how that's commercial?
Like 5 times.
Okay.
Spectrum. That's what all the folks
where everybody could put whatever
entered
they
in
wanted.
Spectrum.
Wow.
Well, we're going to have to solve this problem. And Katie, Paige, and I are on a mission to get the data scrubbed and cleaned up, and we'll do that.
Well, I'd also talked to Mark Schwartz. I've been begging for a year for that field to be a drop down in Spectrum.
Okay.
And it's the first time I've asked Mark. He's like, yeah, we can do that.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, what we can do is we can take a pull from Spectrum and then scrub all the records and get them cleaned up, get the right categories in there.
And that's what I'm still trying to do. And I need your help in Excel, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, well, let's just assume, hypothetically, for training purposes, that everything was spelled correctly and cleaned up. And yeah, you're right. There's only one. Maybe there's no.
That's not.
Maybe there's not even a correct spelling out of all these options. This is crazy. Let's just say we're going for existing customers, and there's 1,000. There's a bunch of them, 1,319 or something. Then we can add those to the list. Okay. And Katie, I don't know if you saw this, but you add all of the ones in the list, and then let's say you want to do educational ones, and then you would add them to the list. So you kind of build your list, and then and this is your running total. Now, one of the things that I do, just to give you a little trick here, is sometimes I build a list and then I back out what I don't want. So in other words, let's say I want education K through 12, but I do not want, pick one, government folks. Then I would remove them and then back them out of the list. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next step, and this is where I put my content in. And this is where I have a blank template because I picked the blank template. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say, okay, I want to insert an image. And I've got my image on my hard drive. And I'm going to go say, I have my image. It's out there. I saved it under MB Haynes. It's right here. And it's this one. It's been resized. You can't see that, but it says it's 600 pixels wide. And what the heck?
Access denied. Uh-oh.
I gotta go deal with that. Sorry. That's not making me very happy right now. So let's take, well, just bear with me for 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to pause this, restart the recording, and I'll add this.
You feel like
okay, there you go. Did you see that, guys, real quick?
Okay. What did you do differently that time?
Oh, we did a software upgrade that changed the setting. So
okay.
Nothing for you. Nothing you'll have to do. But,
okay. He took me offline yesterday, and I said, I can't see your screen. He said, I don't want you to. I don't want you to.
So what I did, just Katie, real quick, is I went in here and I said I'm going to insert an image by clicking on this button right here where it says insert image, and then I just selected it from my hard drive,
Right.
and it uploaded it to the server, and now there's a copy of it on the server, and there you see that it's in the email right here. Now, I noticed on here that there is a web address. And so what you can do is you can highlight the image and say insert link, and then you can insert a link behind it, right?
Right.
And so I'm going to say www.mbhaynes.com. I'm just going to, you don't have to do this, but it helps. MB Haynes website. So that's what happens if they hover over the image. They can see that there. And then you want to open it up in a new window. Okay, so now we have it in that image in there. And when I preview it, it's going to come up looking great as an email. And when I click on this, it goes to mbhaynes.com. And it's super nice, looks great. It's got our footer on the bottom and where they opt out of the email and all this kind of stuff. And then you can just send it away. And you can send it now or you can schedule it. Okay. Now,
can you, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but.
Go ahead.
Can you do a test email before you send it out to a group?
Yes. So I'm going to send this to Katie Wyatt, and I'm going to send a test message right now.
Send test email.
And I'm going to send one to myself because I want to see it too. And there you go. And you'll see it and have a look at it in your email reader and make sure it looks right. You know, I always recommend that. I always recommend testing your links and everything like that as well. And then it's a simple matter of scheduling it or sending it. Now, if I go back to email marketing, you'll see that it'll be sitting there because I haven't sent it yet. It'll be sitting there in draft mode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Did it plug your first name in?
No, it did the
$sign?
first name. Yeah,
First name, check
$sign.
out our HVAC.
Maybe that's not a valid tag. There's a bunch of different ones, and I have to go check it. But let me just remove that for now. So that's not a valid tag. And I'm going to show you how to find the valid tags in the subject line in a minute.
Okay. And those images are always mobile friendly.
I've got I've got a discussion about that here in a second. Right here is we recommend you size those up before you put them in there. Okay, and this is the specs. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated, but anything wider than 60 pixels is a no-no. And then depending on the email reader, and this is crazy, but we've had some people put some very massively large images in there, and it shows up as nothing if it's over 1,500 pixels tall. Outlook just won't show it. But the good news about all that is coming soon. You're not going to have to worry about that. So when we release this thing here, you're not going to have to worry about that at all. We'll automatically resize it for you. But just for now, you're going to have to do it. But let me show you something here because I don't want you to get thrown off by this. If I go in here and I right mouse click on this and I say change image, okay, and I click on more options, there's a size setting in here. That won't work for now. Just for now.
Okay.
Don't do that because some people think I'm resizing it, and that only resizes what you're looking at.
Right.
Just a little background on email marketing. A lot of email readers will go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to make this 600 pixels wide by whatever. But some email programs, and Outlook is the worst one, will ignore it. Okay, so Outlook will take that 600 by 400 and whatever pixels it was, and it will just completely ignore what you said, and the image could be massively large. And Outlook is infamous for that. But we're working on some technology to fix all that for you, and we'll update you when that's ready. But for now, you have to resize it first. And if you can't resize it, Katie, or if you need some help with it, just send it to us, and we'll do it for you, and we'll shoot it back.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
I guess. Mm-hmm.
And that is it. I mean, that's the training. Now, let me see if your branding is in here. Dawn is going to have a moment. Oh, no, no. Well, we're going to have to come back and review your branding later.
Okay, that's fine.
And so Dawn has put together all these layouts for you and everything. And what they do is they replace the top choice construction with your branding. And then we'll shoot it to you and we'll review it with you when it's ready. I don't know what happened. Yeah, go ahead.
One other question. Can I ask you one other question about the images?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Are you able to layer images, or is it all just flat?
You mean on top of each other or next to each other?
Well, like this draft already has layers in it. If I want to do something like that, I'm going to have to make that and then put it into the body itself, or can you layer as you put images in?
You mean you're going to have to help me understand that a little bit.
If I'm making from a blank template, and say I put in the picture of our whole crowd that's in that card, and then on top of that I want to put a logo. Can I do that, or do I need to make that and then put it in there?
No, you can't, and that is not a Spectrum CRM limitation.
Okay.
It is the problem with that will be, and I'm sorry for this, but the email program that's going to read all that will, for lack of a better term, jack it up. I mean, they're going to take it and they're going to make a mess out of that, and it won't look good on the receiving end. So I'll give you another little kind of just a little tidbit. What's happening behind the scenes here is this HTML that we're going to send. It runs through a cleansing kind of program that fixes up the HTML so that it's email reader neutral, I'll say, because it just cut me off if you don't want to hear this, but if there's so many different email readers out there, and they all have their different quirks, that what we have to do is we have to adjust the HTML so that it works in all email readers. Otherwise, if you look at it in Outlook and then you look at it in Yahoo or you look at it in Gmail, it just they look different. So we have to run it through an email cleansing program, an HTML cleansing program to kind of fix all that up. But I'll tell you, layering graphics will not work.
Okay, so, and just listening to what you're saying about having to cleanse it, does that mean that if I strip HTML from somewhere else, like from our website or whatever, and I import it into here, that's a safer bet of it being able to show in lots of different emails?
I think it is a safe bet as long as you make sure the images that are referenced in there are sized up appropriately.
Okay.
Because again, certain email programs will take the
Jack it up.
sizing and totally change it, or really what they do is they ignore it. So if you go to mbhaynes.com as an example, oopsie, and you go to MB Haynes, and just as an example, that image up here is resized. I mean, that's not the actual size of the image.
Right.
And if you show it in an email, it'll come across whatever the original size of that image is, and it will not look good at all. And even when we create this new feature to resize images automatically, we can't go onto your website and resize the image on your website, because it won't allow us to do that ever.
Right.
And it shouldn't, because then I could create a program that goes out there and screws everybody's websites up.
Right.
But just so you know, that is what's going on. Now, Katie, there's a couple options for you to get help. Within the Help Center.
No, he was flying something.
What's going on?
No,
That was just funny.
it sounded like therapeutic.
Like I needed some help. It's okay. It's late in the day.
That's all right.
I was fresh and attentive this morning. I'm sorry.
Okay, so in the Help Center, you can find some videos and some how-to guides. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this recording that we're doing now, and I'm going to put it under here and say, so you can see it if you click on this button. It'll show up there, and you can watch the recording. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in here, there's something, and we're going to be changing the name of this from email tags to email merge fields, because tags that name is already used for something else, so we're going to rename it to merge fields. I'm sorry, this is very small, but that's the first name tag that I put in there. Remember, I put it in the subject line.
Okay.
Some of these may not apply to you, but some of them may. For instance, if you want to put the project manager's name in an email, honestly, these probably are not going to apply to you. So maybe this is not useful. This is really mainly for our residential builders that have communities and, agents and stuff like that. So let's just skip this part. But oh shoot, I closed it. But in the Help Center, you also have, let's go here real quick, other videos that may be helpful. And for instance, let me just say, email marketing, Help Center. And then I can say I want to look up email marketing stuff. And then there's a video on how to create and monitor an email campaign. I'm searching on email marketing, how to insert an image. It talks about the image, inserting an image and putting a link behind an image, resizing an image, how to deal with bad email address, So there's lots of good help in here in addition to this video that I'm going to upload for you. Okay. Now, on top of all of that, you can email support, or you can reach out to me. Okay. With a smiley face, and I'll help you. So, and so Paige is a testament to that. I help her when she needs help. So, now I'm not always available, but I'm also copied on these emails as well. So if you send an email to support, I'm going to see it. Okay. And we have a support manager, and we have a team, just in case if I'm in meetings and you need something urgently or whatever, you have it. Okay. And you have my cell number. It's on the bottom of my emails. If it's a real emergency and you need to get out an email real quick and something isn't working right, or you're frustrated, or you want help, just let me know and we'll take care of you.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Dave, thank